Hi guys. So, little political video about gun rights and gun laws and shit like that. This is Morgan Johansson. He's Minister of Justice and Interior in Sweden right now for the current government from the Social Democrat Party. A little backstory. Before, what was it, 2014? Something like that. So we have an election this year, and they were in power. Our period of mandate is 4 years. So the 4 years are up now in September, and they won 2 mandate periods in a row. Before that, the moderate party, or the right side of the political spectrum, if there is such a thing in Sweden, were in power. And back then, I think like 2013, 14, something like that, the moderate party tried to enact stupid gun laws, tried to ban a bunch of shit, a lot of stuff. And then Morgan Johansson was chairman of the Justice Committee for Parliament. So, in order to make sure that the moderate party didn't enact stupid legislations that would impact our gun owners, I was in contact with, among other people, Morgan Johansson, who is now Minister of Justice. And Morgan Johansson told me, or someone on his staff, I don't know if it was him, but it was his official email at least, who knows, right? Anyway, so he told me that of course we're not gonna do anything that impacts gun owners negatively. We know they're very law-abiding citizens, and gun owners are so good. Yeah, right. So, there was a debate in Parliament. So let's, this is not, doesn't have subs, so I guess I'll have to translate.
Fru talman, med arrogant nonchalans har socialdemokratiska regeringar de senaste åren aktivt och medvetet åsidosatt det folkvalda parlamentet och dess beslut.
So what he said here is that the Social Democrats haven't basically given a shit about decisions made in Parliament. So when Parliament votes on something, a motion or whatever, they make something called tillkännagivande, or they decree the will of Parliament. And according to our constitution, Parliament is the representatives of the people, and all power comes from the people. This is the little constitution we have says this in the first rows, basically. So when Parliament says something, this is the will of the people, and yeah, it supposedly means something. But the Social Democrats haven't given a shit. One of the examples of this is you have to have a permit to dance on a club in Sweden. The club needs a permit, otherwise they face fines and shit. Parliament voted back in 2015 to remove it. Even the Social Democrats themselves, on their internal decision-making procedures, have said that we should remove this. And every single other political party wants to remove that stupid dance law. Still, the Social Democrats haven't done anything. There's a shitload of stuff like that, but we have 27 different decisions in Parliament regarding gun laws that are positive for gun owners that they just don't give a shit about, except suppressor laws now. They make a watered down version of what Parliament decided that they're going to vote on the 2nd of February 2022 this year. Anyway, let's continue.
Regeringen har bland annat satt i system att dra tillkännagivanden i långbänk och i upprepade fall struntat i riksdagens beslut.
So he just reiterated that the government doesn't give a shit about the decisions made by Parliament. What's supposed to happen is the government is supposed to do an investigation if needed, or prepare a new law, and then they take it back as a proposition to Parliament, and then they vote to enact that law. This part of the process does not happen, and Parliament does not have any resources to investigate stuff. The government is supposed to do that. This doesn't happen unless the government wants it to happen, and they seldom do.
Detta hanterande av riksdagsbeslut har resulterat i att riksdagen nu börjar tidsbestämma tillkännagivanden för att pressa fram ageranden från regeringen.
So what he said now is that Parliament sets a time limit on decisions. So what happened in very early spring 2021 is they decided to remove the 5-year licensing for handguns, and they set a time limit on it until December or the end of the year of 2021. Nothing has happened, of course.
Ett exempel var att riksdagen tog beslut om att regeringen skulle innan den 1 januari i år återkomma till riksdagen riksdagen med ett förslag på hur man ska slopa 5-årslicenserna. Det
What I just said about fire licensing.
byråkratiska haveri som idag drabbar laglydiga vapenägare.
And he called it a bureaucratic mess, what's happening to legal gun owners. For example, one guy in my club was 1 day late with the paperwork. So the law, we got a new law to protect us from the police mishandling paperwork. So we get a cutoff date when our license no longer applies for handguns. But according to the new law, I think it was enacted in 2017, 15, I don't remember. Anyway, so if you apply for a renewal of the license before one month before the end date of the license, then you're protected. Then you get to keep the firearm, etc., and it will work as usual, even though the police takes longer than a month. But according to our Justice Ombudsman, the police has 1 month at a maximum to handle a license. So yeah, anyway, he was 1 day late, so he was 29 days before the end of the license. So if the police takes longer than 29 days to handle the renewal of the license, then he has an illegal firearm in his possession and he's considered a criminal by the police and he's handled the same way as some gangster with an AK in the suburbs. So yeah, that's fun. And the handling time right now for the Swedish police in Stockholm is 20 weeks.
Tidsfrist betyder uppenbarligen ingenting för regeringen. Kommer dock Morgan Johansson om än för sent att agera i frågan? Tack.
Tack så mycket,
Now it's Morgan Johansson.
Inrikesminister Morgan Johansson, Socialdemokraterna, varsågod.
Tack fru talman. Jag har sett hur Tobias Andersson och Sverigedemokraterna angriper oss socialdemokrater.
Okay, now he's just talking shit about the political party, calling them Nazis for questioning him. I don't even want to hear that shit because that's just tired.
När det gäller sakfrågan som Tobias Andersson lyfter, då vill jag säga så här att det är ett tillkännagivande som i grunden är ganska problematiskt.
He's calling the decision by the entire parliament very problematic.
Så som det skulle medföra om vi skulle göra som Sverigedemokraterna vill.
And now he said, if we would do as the Swedish Democrats will, on a decision made by the entirety of the parliament, even the Communist Party voted for this, even the communists. And he says it's what the Swedish Democrats wants, because he likes to paint them with a brown shitty brush and call them Nazis.
Då ökar man nämligen riskerna för att farliga vapen, automatvapen, halvautomatiska vapen, kommer i händerna på människor som inte ska ha dem.
So now he says that if he removes the 5-year licensing, these firearms will end up in the hands of criminals. So what he's saying is that legal gun owners in Sweden are giving their firearms to criminals. How? Why? This does not happen. This is lies. He's lying. He's standing there and lying, that asshole. And that has happened exactly 0 times. And there's not even firearms stolen from legal gun owners. There is actually research on this by actual scientists who checked the database, has gone through everything the police has, and 2 firearms per year that has once been legal at all in Sweden, if they're stolen for burglaries or if there's some family drama where someone does stupid shit with their shotgun or whatever, 2 times a year. And there's like a shooting with a firearm that's never been legal in Sweden every day of the week in Sweden. There's literally thousands of illegal guns on the streets that's never been legal in Sweden. And he thinks those guns that's never been illegal in Sweden are the same as the legal guns that literally never gets in the hands of the criminals. And yeah, so he refuses to follow what Parliament's decided because of lies he just made up.
Därför så analyserar vi naturligtvis tillkännagivandet noga, men jag tänker inte medverka till att i det här läget med de problem vi har med skjutningar och gängkriminalitet öka tillgängligheten för den typen av vapen.
So there he accused legal gun owners of the criminal clans, the gangs, the no-go zones. Everything is the fault of legal gun owners in Sweden, because apparently we supply them with their guns, and guns have a magical property that makes immigrant clans in Sweden commit bombings and shootings. Yeah, fucking asshole. Take responsibility for your own politics that led us to this place. God damn it.
Tack så mycket. Tobias Andersson, Sverigedemokraterna, varsågod.
Fru talman, det är inte upp till Morgan Johansson att avgöra vad som är problematiskt eller inte i fattade beslut i denna kammare. Det är upp till...
So now Tobias said that it's not up to Morgan Johansson to decide what's problematic for because this has been decided by a majority in Parliament.
Denna folkvalda kammare att landa i de beslut man själva anser vara rimliga för att fortsätta. I det här fallet så pratar vi om ett byråkratiskt administrativt haveri som drabbar laglydiga vapenägare.
He's trying to reiterate that it's just a bureaucratic mess that impacts legal gun owners. And legal gun owners, according to statistics, are more law-abiding than police officers in Sweden. We are checked against the criminal registry every single day. And if I were to, like, drive too fast, one time too many, like I've read about cases where someone during the same month got caught speeding like 2 or 3 times and he lost all his guns. It's very easy to lose your guns. Be an asshole and you will lose them. You don't even have to commit a violent crime.
Och är det inte upp till Morgan Johansson att säga att man ska åsidosätta det folkvalda beslutet i denna kammare för att han personligen finner det problematiskt? Tack.
Tack så mycket, Justin.
So he basically said that it's not up to Morgan Johansson to decide this. Parliament has already decided this. But yeah.
Inrikesminister Morgan Johansson, Socialdemokraterna, varsågod.
Tack fru talman. Det finns ingenting som hindrar riksdagen att agera på egen hand.
Okay, so this is very interesting. What he just said was there's nothing stopping Parliament for acting on their own. So that is true. I agree with Morgan Johansson here. But our opposition, the moderates and all those people are such limp dicks. They're so scared. What can technically happen now is that the Swedish Democrats, the moderates and all the rest get together, form a majority in Parliament and actually do vote it themselves. They just say this is the law that we want to change and we do it without the government. And that would be awesome because that would basically piss in Morgan Johansson's face, and I don't want to see him more than necessary, but yeah, that would be the best solution because this has already been investigated on how to do X, Y, and Z. Just had to basically delete a line in the law for this specific case at least. It's such a simple change of the law. So they should really do that, and I really hope they will. As far as I know, Sten Bergheden, who is the current chairman of the Justice Committee from the Moderate Party, has considered that. The Swedish Democrats has already suggested that in Parliament. So there is a few political parties that might consider that. Not sure if they can manage their own majority. The best way to change this is to change the government, of course, but that is not a guarantee. As I said in the beginning of this video, the Moderate Party tried to enact stupid laws the last time they were in power. I don't trust politicians. I don't trust the Swedish Democrats, the Moderate Party, especially not the Social Democrats. No one. They're probably mostly assholes, all of them, just looking for power's sake. Well, whatever. We'll see what happens. But I really do not like Morgan Johansson accusing me and all of my friends of aiding criminals and being the cause of criminality in Sweden. That is bullshit. And yeah, I don't like it. That's why I'm a bit upset. Okay.